All right. Sorry. I loved learning about this chapter because I love talking about family relationships, right? I have a really unique relationship with my family. I'm the youngest of six kids. Um, and because I'm the youngest, I, of course, was a little spoiled. But also, I got to have a different relationship with my parents than my older kids did, where by the time I was like 10, I started to get treated like an adult because all of their other kids were adults, right? And so it felt weird to treat me any different than the way they were treating their other kids. And so from like age like 10 on, my relationship with my parents was more of a friendship um, than it was a parental relationship. They still protected me, they still provided for me, but we hung out, right? My dad would be like, "Hey, what are you doing?" Like I'm 16, my dad would be like, "Hey, what are you doing this Saturday?" And I'd be like, "Oh, I don't have anything planned." And then we'd go and do friend things, right? It didn't feel like I was hanging out with my dad. It felt like I was hanging out with my buddy. um, I also loved through the eight traits of familial relationships, and it talks about marriage, blood adoption, or choice, right? And it stuck out to me when thinking about this that all of those people are a part of your family, right? I think that the ones that stick out to you the most are the ones that are choice, right? The people who either are related to you by blood or aren't related to you by blood, but you have chosen to be really important to you, right? And I think, I hate to say it, but you can think about the siblings in your family or even your parents and think about which siblings you have chosen as your family versus which ones are just your blood siblings, right? And like my brother in law, is my sibling by marriage now, right? But also by choice. Me and him are great friends. We could still be related and not be related by choice. Um, but then also like touching on love and trust, which is I love that it touched on trust. Those words are so similar to me. It is difficult to love somebody and to feel love from somebody if you do not trust them, whether that be them offering you emotional support, whether that means that you are able to offer them emotional support, like the ability to share with each other and trust that the other person has your back is a really important part of this. And it honestly is the thing that creates the choice. Um, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to touch on before I'll go to the discussion. Really interesting video. She was, first off, a great presenter. Like super, I like presenters that are super conversational, and that's how it felt. And so it's really easy to follow. The thing that really surprised me, and I guess like I'm just not as cultured as I would hope to be, is how like we learn growing up, you learn about arranged marriages and things like that. But I think in your mind when you're a kid from the United States who so much of marriage is centered around I love this person romantically, and you have to romantically love somebody to marry them. Um, it was interesting to hear so many cultures that don't think that way and in fact think that's dangerous because bad decisions get made when you like bad bad financial or marriage decisions get made out of love. And you, I guess, when you're a little kid and you think about arranged marriages, you think, oh, well, they probably end up falling in love with each other, and maybe they do in some of them, but they probably just don't. And uh, it's just a legal agreement between two people, right, to support each other, and in a lot of cases have children. It's it's just not the way that I think about it, right? I couldn't marry somebody that I don't feel romantic about. Um, but then also the other surprising thing was how she didn't use this word exactly, but this is how it was described to me. How marriages are becoming a little bit more volatile, right? How marriages used to exist on a spectrum where any of these marriages could work, and now it's like the marriages have been pushed to two sides, and it's any marriage on this side is probably not going to work, and any marriage on this side is going to work, and the deciding factor now is becoming um, love, probably, right? I just thought it was really interesting. Um, altogether, there's another part I wanted to touch on. Let me get down here. Oh, another. It talked a little bit about this trend towards the end of the chapter, but the trend that we're going to end up seeing of more DINK marriages, which is double income, no children, right? Because of financial burden, we're going to see more people having children. I mean, less people having children than ever before because they don't see a way to financially support children and themselves. I think this is like one of the first times in history that we're seeing a large worldwide movement to stop having kids because we can't support them. And we're not going to bring somebody into the world that we can't support. Anyway,